Let me ask you something. Are you hitting success yet you know that there's another level? Or perhaps you're just getting started. You're trying to put all these pieces together, get your first deal, but something's holding you back. Or maybe you're going through a big change in your career and your life, but for some reason you just can't take the steps you need to know in order to move forward. Well, I've been having a lot of really incredible conversations with people who are in the exact same position as you are, and they've been able to make massive change happen very quickly. Whether that's doubling your income within just a few months, whether that's making some kind of big shift in your life and really unlocking that vision, or perhaps it's just getting clear on what that vision needs to be so that you can really take those steps. Of course, you guys know me, host of the Investor Mindset here, Stephen Pesavento, and high performance coach. I've been working with clients for years, seeing and helping them see major results. And I'd love to set up a call to discover if it's possible to be able to help you with some of those same things. If you are in a position where you want more and you're committed to taking some steps to get there, then I encourage you to head over to investormindset.com/discover and let me know a little bit more information about you. Set up a call and we'll jump on and we'll walk through a discovery process. Totally complimentary. You'll walk away with a lot of clarity. And if there's some way that I can help serve you, I'll let you know that too. So you can just head over to investormindset.com/discover. And I look forward to serving you.
This is the Investor Mindset Podcast.
What you need to know about me is I have a partnership with the largest data collection, analytics, and AI company in America. In my database, I have 240 million American consumers, 550 million plus connected devices. We're tracking 10 billion with a B, 10 billion online purchasing decisions every day and 1 trillion searches. And so they said, hey, can you look at our customers and tell us what they're doing, where they're going, what platforms are. So in our data that we look at, I can tell your customers or clients, I can tell you everything you've ever wanted to know about them. I can tell you what their top values are in life. I can tell you what they read specifically, what they watch, what shows they watch specifically. And more importantly, I can tell you the social media platforms they're on in a chronological order, whether they're buying from those platforms or whether they're just perusing those platforms. And so when we looked at this company's customer list, we overlaid it online, we tracked their movements. So we're tracking what they do, not what they say. And then we're matching it up against our database, and we're producing these incredible psychological backgrounds, but it's all reflected in the data. It's what people are doing. And for this particular company, we found that Facebook, where their 95% of their budget was going, was the fifth social media platform in a rank order of where their customers were going. It wasn't even number one. And they said, but Phillip, we hired a Facebook marketing agency. And I said, well, do you think the Facebook marketing agency is going to tell you to stop spending money on Facebook? No, their job is to get you to spend money on Facebook. No matter that your customers, you probably need to spend a little money on Facebook, but doesn't need to be at the level you are, because this is the fifth performing platform is looking at your customer base, right? And they went, oh my God. And this is the story that I hear over and over and over and over again, right? And another one is we had a business there, a national background check company. They work with fast food industry to hire, they do labor background checks, all that kind of stuff. And they hired us and they said, we're spending $10,000, $15,000 a month on Google keywords and SEO. Well, we went in and audited what they were doing. And we realized that 2 years before, Google had changed the rules, and their previous marketing firm and the marketing team at this particular huge multi-million-dollar company had not realized that everything had changed. And so they had been paying $10,000 to $15,000 a month to be bidding against their own keywords. They were bidding themselves up against their own keywords because they didn't understand the rules had changed. And so ultimately, I found a niche in the marketplace. I'm screen agnostic. I'm the advocate for the data. I'm the advocate for the customer.
Well, I feel
politics, in the politics, I'm the advocate for the voter. And so that's where, that's really where I'm rooted in. And so I have no dog in the hunt of making people buy Facebook ads. I have a dog in the hunt making them buy the ads of where their customers are located or their clients are located.
Well, it's once you get
to that level of detail that you start really understanding on a behavior-based level what people want, why they want it, and how you can help serve them. And so many people talk about it. It's super prevalent within the digital marketing space. People talk data, but at the end of the day, when you're working with somebody, you're paying them 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 grand a month, and they're not really using the data that they're talking about. So I think it's a huge thing to underline that why it's important and then how you guys are actually doing it. And so where do people drop the ball when it comes to getting started, actually using data to make these decisions?
They drop the ball when they go out and they build their brand before they know what their customer wants. Stephen, you've been really successful. You've done really well. What if I were to tell you that your founder story, which is really neat and interesting, what if I could tell you that your investors or your clients or whatever, that they only cared about 25% of your story specifically? Would you continue to talk about the other 75, or would you take that 25 and optimize it and make it even bigger and badder and bolder? And that's the whole point. Every company comes to us and I said, you built this $30,000 website or this $50,000 website. Why did you build it? Well, a marketing agency told me that our brand was X, Y, and Z. And I said, where did they come up with that? Well, they sat around a table and they brainstormed. And I said, but you're going to send people to a website that your customer or your client may not care to read about you. Shouldn't you optimize your brand before you spend money on that brand, before you spend money on ads to send people that brand? Shouldn't you make sure that you know exactly what your clients and customers want so the brand speaks to them when you do spend the money? So what I do is everything in my undefeated marketing system, the systematic approach we use, is a risk elimination. Every step we eliminate the risk, and in every step we work with the business so that they don't spend money erroneously. And when they're ready to market their businesses, we already know ahead of time it's a guaranteed win. We know it because we've optimized, we found out what the customer wants, we built plans around it, we built a brand around that, and then we've tested the messages. Here's a cool story for you. In 2016, all right, I'm going to bring up the Donald Trump campaign, not because I care one way or another on Trump or Hillary or Biden. I don't give a damn. Just hear me out on the marketing side of the campaign. The Trump campaign knew that certain messages would work. So then they decided to go test those messages. They would run one Facebook ad 162 ways, 162 versions of one ad. They'd have the message of whatever it was in the right corner, in the left corner. They have a green background, a red background. They have a man in the ad, a woman in the ad. They have a man in the right corner, the woman in the left corner. They have different font sizes. They ran 162 different versions of one ad of the data they already knew would work. And then they just optimized the hell out of it. And ultimately they found 8 or 10 of those ads out of the 162 that blew through the roof. They didn't know why. But it did. And now they know with certainty that they could put money behind those 8 to 10 ads and it would work. And that's the same approach that we take on the corporate marketing side. So another story I'll tell you real quick on the B2B
Let me cut in
side.
real quick on that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, it makes so much sense. The biggest billion-dollar companies in the world have access to this data. Personally, I've gone out and tried to buy access, and I've had some success buying access to this data. It's quite creepy when you realize what's available, but it's beautiful from a marketing perspective. Correct. But unless you have a huge budget, it can be very difficult to get access to the data that you guys clearly have access to. So the question is, for all the small business owners or all the small team leaders that are listening who are thinking about, hey, how can they apply this to generate more revenue, to give themselves the ability to invest in the kind of opportunities that are out there in the real estate space, how can a small business actually apply these types of activities to go and test 167 different kinds of creative while also, doing that kind of a study? So where do they start? How do they do it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first of all, I lay out the whole how to do it in my book. And you don't have to hire people like me. Like, you can literally follow the systematic approach, right? And we'll walk into that. But here's why for the small business, this is going to be it was a really good question, because we were doing this data for Fortune 200 companies and we were charging hundreds of thousands of dollars. companies like Hershey's and TurboTax and Amazon and Disney Parks and Recs and DaVita dialysis systems, people like these. Okay. And we were doing it all. And then I went to our data partner and I said, small businesses need access to the same exact data that we're doing for these companies. And how can we give it to them? And they said, oh, sure. Then you pay us a licensing fee of $500,000 every 2 years. And then you can charge whatever you want. And so I did. And that's what I banked my entire company on a few years ago. And so now we charge between, $7,500 and about $12,000 for one data report, but we can look at multiple different segments or targets in the market, from investors, to customers, to clients. And we can build modeled audiences around those. If you don't have enough data to track, we can put a pixel on your website, and then anybody that comes to your website, let's just take your website, Stephen. If people who go to your website, they're not finding your website because they're just perusing the internet. You popped up. They're interested in what you have, right? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you want to know what the people that come to your website, every activity they do outside of your website? Wouldn't you want to know why they make purchasing decisions, or how, or where they go, or where they spend their time? Because that's what we can do. We could put a pixel on a website and then grab their IP address and track them. And then obviously we can overlay a customer base or a client base. As long as we have about 8,000 to 10,000 records minimum, we can overlay that online, and then we can track them and spit out a 50 to 75 page report that literally would blow your mind away if you knew what we knew, right? Like you said earlier.
Oh, thank you for joining for another incredible episode of the Investor Mindset. It's such a joy to be able to share these beliefs, these thoughts, these ways of living with each and every one of you guys, because I just know the power that it can make. And for some of you, for the select few of those people who are truly committed to going after their goals, the people who really believe that there's another level from where they're operating right now, the people who are ready to make change happen rapidly. And even if you're somebody who is stuck, who knows what you need to do, you know exactly the strategy, but for some reason you're not doing it. For those people, there's another option. There's another level that you can reach. And what I've noticed after coaching tons and tons of people through this process is that there's a simple formula. And when you can start to understand how to unlock those pieces within yourself, you'll start to feel more vibrant. You'll start to feel more energized. You'll start to make more money, and you'll start to enjoy the process through and through. So if you're somebody who's in a position, you're ready to make change happen, you're ready to invest in yourself, you really believe that the best investment, the truest ROI is investing in yourself because it continues to give back over and over again, then I invite you to schedule a call, share a little bit about yourself, and see how we might be able to help serve you with the Investor Mindset coaching. You can head right over to investormindset.com/discovery, set up a call, and if there's an opportunity to serve, I'll be right there with you. Thanks, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Investor Mindset Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share with a friend. Head over to theinvestormindset.com to join the Insider Club, where we share tools and strategies from the top investors and entrepreneurs on how to take it to the next level.